We're going to talk about all of this. This is going to be a great show. I don't see Grace yet. Well, maybe I should send her the link. Okay. She needs the link. One sec. Hang on one second.
Share it with her.
I'm gonna send it. All right. How's it going, everybody? We're live on Facebook. We're just waiting for Grace to come in. We got a special surprise today. It's going to be a very powerful hour and a half. Let me see here. Let me just make sure we're good. You see us? Okay. Sound is good. Let's see here. Oh, here we are. 35 people in the house. Let me share it to the network. Let's see. We just had a really cool show. If you didn't see it a second ago, with a beautiful sister, Rabia. Okay, let me share this out. Still waiting on Grace. Boom. I think she's coming in now. All right. Yeah, I see her. Grace, I see you. I'm going to bring you up right after the intro, okay? This will allow people to get come in to the space. Hang on one second. Here we go. I'll bring you up in just a second, Grace. 1 minute and 45 seconds. We got an exciting show coming up right now. There's some pretty spectacular things happening in the moment. We're going to discuss them openly so we can get a feel for what's going on, because as the individual journeys go, so goes the collective. Let me just get set up here and I'll pull up Grace in just a second. I just want to read a couple of these comments because they're right in line with what's happening. I saw one here. Deanna Parsley, today I feel old templates dissolving and the new Unity grid will be installed by Valentine's Day. Some bodies will frizz out with the upgrades. So everybody guard your space and have some faith, the transitive verb to trust and believe. There was one more I saw in here that, oh, Richie Sauter. Okay, Richie Sauter says, I have a caravan coming up from the Keys. The happening is now. We've got an event tonight from 7 to 9 at SouLTERRA Wellness Center. It's a cosmic improv. We've got a gathering in the Siesta Beach, Nokomis Beach area on Sunday, possibly Saturday and Sunday on the beach. And on the 15th, which is a week from Saturday, in Largo, Florida, which is right around Clearwater as well, we have a gathering from noon to 5 at a really cool facility where they've got cameras, speakers, microphones, a kitchen. We're going to be over there doing a little collaboration with our brother Jeremy McDonald from Lighthouse. So let's get this thing started. Let's get Grace up here. We've got beautiful sister Elasa here, who is the principal at solTERRA Wellness Center. And her and Grace were doing work in the ethers last night. So this is the real deal. Let's talk about it and see what they both have to say about it, because I know it carries a lot of code and information for all of us. Let's see now. Let me just get her up here. Ask to start video. Ground control to Grace Solaris. There she is. Hang on now. I don't think we have sound with you. Your mic is off. Okay, unmute. Hang on. I got you.
Hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Do you recognize this? Do you recognize this beloved sister? Oh, I'm gonna need.
I don't know her in this life, but I recognize her as someone that my heart indeed knows. Yes, very
Okay,
much.
hang on a
Yes.
second, because I just realized she won't be able to hear you. And you know
Okay.
what? We could probably just do it with the. Let's see. We might get some reverb. If we do, we'll plug back in. Okay, we're good. Can you hear us, Grace?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, we need to turn you up. Hang on. All right, here we go. Okay, so you want to repeat that? So do you know this beloved sister?
I don't know her from this incarnation, but I surely I can. I see you. I recognize you from ancient time, wherever, I don't know, but you're very familiar to my heart. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Greetings, everyone.
Greetings. Yes, Grace, it's an ancient connection. Can you hear me well?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's an ancient connection, and we had, Todd and Morgan arrive a couple days ago. And as you know, as we arrive, us great gatekeepers, grid keepers, full channels, the wind, the plasma begins to ripple through the field, and storms ignite and tornadoes, and all these things started lifting the field last night. And so when I went into meditation to help ground the energy, your spirit came to me and you said, use the plasma wisely, use the weather wisely. And so between you and source energy, you were kind of shape-shifting. I was telling Todd, you kept showing me to build out these plasma channels and to help with the wormhole that we're in as we're coming through this dark matter, to ground in these new templates. And you were telling me specifically, in more words, a lot of it was very just etheric light work, but specifically you said, make sure you build me a plasma tube or several tubes at the center for when I come online tomorrow, which is now. And I didn't plan on sitting here with you, but you would just you show me your energy teleporting here, or by locating, so that you could come through the plasma tubes. So that's where we kind of left off. And then Todd said, well, why don't we have you join in? And so we can do some more digging around here together.
Amazing. Amazing. Greeting you. And thank you so much for sharing this. It's always amazing to hear, because I mean, lately, I specifically, I have just, I have been doing a lot of things in dream time. You know, I have been called to go to bed like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, you know. I mean, sometimes, I mean, there are times where I am incredibly lucid. I've trained myself to being that since I was in my 20s. Sometimes I sleep right through, but the last days I didn't really know what was going on. I just woke up in the morning, but you know, very tired. I've been doing all sorts. I don't know always, so it's nice to hear when I get insights. But I'm luckily most of the time to remember, you know, what I'm doing. But I just felt, you know, there's so much going on in the higher realms right now, you know, so I was almost like, I was just waiting. When can we go to bed? You don't have to go to work, you know, kind of thing, you know, in a good way. Yes.
Yeah.
And in the same time, in my awakened state during daytime, I think many have felt this. I have been just in this total stillness, where I haven't really, I guess that's also to balance out when we are really active on the higher realms. I have just been in this total stillness, just being in the presence and just holding this plasma energy field and just expanding it, and you know, didn't have much need really to do anything other than just being, you know.
Yeah.
We
And
were talking before the show, 2-3 nights ago, well, actually a period of about a day and a half, 2 days, Morgan and I received some transmissions. And 2 days ago, which would have been the day of the night we came over here and plugged in 2 days ago, she was woken at 4:30. We had already been told this a couple days before. We've been going through for about a month when we put our hands together at night and connected to repeat and declare that I surrender to all lower vibrational 3D frequencies, behaviors, patterns, and set intentions for the highest frequency, the highest aspect to step in. 4:30 in the morning 2 days ago, she was woken, and they told her for about 30 minutes in a very loud voice, was a higher self speaking from the group, that it's time. That it's time to step away from all the 3D, all the addictions. There was a big long list of addictions, much more broader than we might think. Things as codependent relationships, anything that distracts us. It was explained to us that anything that distracts us is an addiction. The communion came in so strong to say, if you're not prepared to do this, then we're just going to separate you guys, and you can go on down the road and choose your vibration. But we have a mission. It's time to do it. We had a session shortly thereafter. A hawk came and it sat in a tree about 20 feet away from us and never moved. We made our commitment, rededicated ourselves, made choices, and immediately felt lighter. And then we ended up over here. Now, a couple of people, and I can't remember because my 3D brain, have said they received the same type of, it was actually Rabia, who was just on, said she received a couple of days ago, it's time, it's game time. Now, with having said that, we were just talking, Elasa was saying that last night she was shown that you were talking about the rooms that were already created, and you said something about that we've been talking about it, but we're not doing it.
Yeah.
And so this is where I'd like to lead in.
So the blueprint laying, we're asked to be really on point with our blueprint laying, meaning what are we creating? And one example is when you daydream or lay back and you imagine, you know, a space, you imagine these rooms or you imagine these places, that's blueprint laying. You're literally creating the weave of how the plasma will come fill in, which you are this great big plasma field. So when you're birthing these visions in your daydreams, you really are creating those realities. This is how we create reality. It's nothing new. It's just what is. But specifically, let's also look at an example, and then I'll tie it all together. When you go to dream time, for instance, you may dream that you're in a school or a boat or a yacht or a mall. And it's literally like these, or a mountain, you're going up a mountain and you're going into these other spaces, these other dimensional realities where you literally are in these rooms. These, a lot of times in a school, you know, the mall will show up for schools or yachts or ships. The elevator. Yeah. What'd you say, Grace?
You know, and that's what I'm experiencing. You know, I mean, for a long time, I had this feeling, you know, or experience rather, that, you know, when I'm dream time, you know, it's not dreaming, it's really parallel realities. It's experiencing yourself in the higher realms. If you're so lucky that you can really be lucid dreaming, you can really, you know, you really experience this. And lately it has become really, for me, more and more like, this is actually much more real, you
Yes.
know, than what we are going through in the awakened time. Because when you are awake and you are in this Maya illusion hologram, you know, it's just like, you know, when you have seen through it, you know, it's just like,
Yeah.
I mean, you can navigate it, okay, if you're aware of it, but you know, it's just like, you know, it's not real, you know. So when you go to dream, so it's my favorite time now when I go. Not that I can't embrace the daytime thing. It's lovely because, you know, when you're in bliss most of the time, of course, there's also the anxiety. That's a thing from the collective, a great deal. Exactly right now, also because of what's going on globally right now. We don't want to give any energy to that, because it's really so important right now that we really detach from these programming, this projections into the collective, you know,
Yes.
so that we are really fully centered and balanced in the heart. So it's not about closing our eyes, but it's really being discerning. What are you giving your energy to? And really being present in your heart space, and not indulge in or engage in these energies, you know. So really keeping your space clear,
Yeah.
you know, that's, yeah, very important.
You
Yeah.
know, I think that needs to be restated because we all came out of this. We've all come to this point. We've all had plenty of experience with the dialogue, you know, with the anxiety, the worry, the attachment to the 3D behaviors and vibrations and patterns. And what I was getting from talking to Elasa, you know, telepathically, is that it, from her message, what she received, it's so important to open up these, to further open these portals,
Yes.
to expand these portals and to create these tubes that can't be done when we're running that dialogue, the old programming and patterns in our
Yes.
head. And
It
we're, like you said
sabotages,
so well.
and that's what it's there for. It's there to wanting to abstract us, you know.
Yes.
And that's why it's so important that we really centered and just focused, keeping the focus in a heart space, you know,
Yeah.
24/7, you know.
Yeah. Don't
So
make
we can really
assumptions.
expand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make assumptions. Don't jump to conclusions. Allow the flow to happen. I'll give you another example real quick. So we're over in Florida. We came out of a place where a beloved sister had gifted us a condo about an hour south of here. And so we left and we went straight to a soul gathering in a park about 15 miles from here, not knowing where she was, not knowing where we're going to stay. This time of year, it's difficult to find an RV park.
Yeah.
So we just drove to the gathering. The gathering was over about 6 p.m. Energy started coming in already. Morgan laid down in the back of the RV and I just started driving. I had made a couple of phone calls, but I got voice messages. So I
Yeah.
pull up to this RV park office, nobody's there, and I called the guy on the phone. Long story short, he had a place for us. He moved his own vehicle to give us a spot for 3 nights. But what I was getting at is after the 3 nights, we had that energy come in saying it's time to shift or get off the pot. You know, it's time to get this done. It's time, like she said, to stop talking about it and actually do it and be it. So we had that energy coming in. We drove to and we got a little human. Like, you know we need to talk. What's going on in the back of our heads, what we weren't saying, you know, and all that stuff. We did a good job of aligning with it. The hawk came and all that. Anyway, my point is this. it's so close to us now that Morgan and I were staying a 3-minute walk from the solTERRA Wellness Center where we're sitting now. And had we been in alignment, and nothing wrong with the fact that we weren't totally in alignment, we would have flowed right into this spot, you know. And this is, I'm talking energetics here. We are so close to being in flow. And as more of us start to do it and really let go and turn off this narrative, this illusionary dialogue of you can't do this and you're not good enough, and that and the finger pointing and the projection like you talked about, we can turn this off and create that space, and our field becomes silent and congruent with the flow. Yeah. And so I thought that was a really cool example for me personally, and I just wanted to share it.
Wonderful.
It's like, you know, this whole projection is happening, right? It's in these grooves. It's in this historical groove, the history, his story. And it's been so played out, and we all literally get up thinking that what's in front of us is now, and really it's past life soup. It's the past projection of what already exists. So when we get lost in the past and the future, or with what's in front of us, thinking that it is real, and it's not that you're being rude to your beloved sisters and brothers, but a lot of times they are not aware that they're just projecting the loop that's going on in their old timelines from early childhood. Yeah. And so when a lot of us are just existing in that way and bantering and talking these, you know, these conversation, the pity party conversation, God bless us all, may we wake up to and realize what we are capable of, that we really are projecting the reality. This is what we're being asked to do by, you know, let's get it, you know, get on it with building out the new hologram with the new reality and not the past projections. So when something's happening in front of us, can I take 5 breaths? And can I know, am I in observation stance as the greater being that I am? Or am I actually to interact and create magic and create bliss and create a new reality with this beloved being in front of me? And a lot of times, everybody, for me personally, it's the observation mode right now. And it will probably be that for a while. That we're just asked to sit back, observe, hold space with love. Tonight's cosmic theater, it's a time to hold space, watch the cast of characters make their play and act their stuff out. But with love, we're going to fold these realities in together, and we're going to resurrect these new realities, which is what you showed me last night, beloved sister. You showed me this wormhole that we're in, and we're really being asked to stay present and awake to the dark matter, that as you get to the birthing canal, those of you mamas out there, you had babies, as you get down in there, it is dark before you see the light. And so we are at that darkest point where all the lowest first dimensional, in between dimensional, let's not forget that, everybody, all the lower level and inner between dimensions that are being highlighted and shined upon. And so when the dark force, which is you, which was the confused you, okay, we're all that. But when we get into that dark force and the projection comes into the reality, can we sit back, observe? And again, this is why Spirit had me create an app for this, to push a button and say, what the freaking frack is going on right now? And it tells you who, what, when, where, why, what's happening right in front of you, so that you can make a choice to fold it in and birth something new. So we're being asked to get present in nature. For me, and I know all of us, I can tell probably watching this call, your biggest gift that you give to the world right now, blueprint laying, is sitting in bliss in nature. If you can sit in bliss in nature and tend to yourself, be so in love with yourself, like Grace was saying, these stillness moments that we're being asked to hold, that is us doing our due diligence to birth the new reality. And what Source keeps telling me is that we are, you know, we all know this, I think on this call, we're non-local. We think we're going to Tampa. We think we're going to England. This is just a belief system. So we need to build out the new continents and rise them back up and live upon them if you'd like. You don't even have to go anywhere. It can rise up underneath your own feet. So
exactly.
I'll give space.
Yes. Yeah, but it's the same. You can create everything from this moment, from where you are. And I'm feeling also now that we are really transcending not only time, you know, we are starting to transcend even space. What do I mean about that transcending space? I mean, we start to become omnipresent. So being at the same time everywhere, you know. I mean, I think many of us have already had this experiences of, yeah, what should I say? Yeah, of experiencing parallel realities. We have glimpses. We have even also had situations where we felt, you know, like a day went or hours gone, you know, just got lost or whatever. Lately, I've also had situations where, I mean, I just wanted to do something and then I see it's already done. I mean, it's like, what? And I mean, it happens in nanosecond. Nanosecond. It's not even a second. It's just like, and I just thought, for example, the other day I was going shopping and then I wanted to take a bag to put it in, and then the bag is already there, and I was grabbing out to get it, and I see it's already there. I mean, it's not something that you can just. It's just our perception of time. Our consciousness is becoming so expanded, you know, that we really transcend time and space. And when we come into this field of the 0 point, we are omnipresent, and we get more and more glimpses of this, experiences of this. So really it's just about being centered in this space, be fully aligned and attuned and connected in this space. And as you experience Todd, then you're just where you need to be, you know. So it's really action through non-action in a way. I think in Taoism they call it the Wu Wei, you know, that that's also what that I've kept hearing, you know. It's about presence. It's not about because when it's more about being, because when you are in this modus of, oh, I have to do this, I have to say something, I have to do something, then you are coming from your mind. And you know, as we know, the mind is linear, so it will always be rooted in something of the past that we then project into the future, you know. So, you know, but life is going on in 0 point, and you will not be able to tap into that potential if you come from the mind. That's why it's so important that we really stay in the 0 point, and that's only possible when we're really grounded and anchored in the heart space. Yes. Yeah. And then we become instruments of divine will. There's no mind that comes in, and you know, the mind tends to have to be one step ahead. Like I say, interference. Fearing, it's based on fear. We interfere because we want to make sure that we don't make that mistake or that mistake, which is all based on the past. And then we project it into the future, and then we wonder why, because many people say, yeah, but I don't want to attract those things. Why do I keep on? Yes, because you're coming from the past experiences, and you project it unknowingly into the future. You're fragmented, and these are all, so you're not anchored at all. You're not available, you know, for the divine energies to guide you into being in that cosmic flow, you know.
I love what you said about you find yourself where you're supposed to be. And then I think about what Morgan and I just went through, and the term they gave us as addictions, and the definition they gave us as addictions was anything that distracts you. So I really, really resonate with what you're saying. And I think about something Vera Ingeborg said to me a few months ago. As I was telling her, I can feel Soulogy doing this and doing that, and I need to do this and I have to do that. She said, no. She said, what you're feeling is alignment. So don't do anything just because you'll be where you're at. Now, if I think about what we received a couple of nights ago, and I think about what we're all talking about, this is very new to us. It's new to us. So it's going to make, it's not something we're familiar with, but it is alignment, and it is beautiful, and it is real, and we're going collectively regardless of how the individual goes, whether they let go or be dragged. But the bottom line is, if it's not so easy for me, it's gotten easier to stay in this space. I'm getting chills totally. But what I can do is I can say to myself, what are you doing? Oh, you've done this before. If my addiction is to get on the internet and go down and distract myself because I'm not comfortable with this alignment, which is new to me, then that's a red flag. Whatever that may be, whether I go shopping, sex, drugs, rock and roll, whatever it is, it can be anything. It can be anything. And my detector is, have I done this before? How many times have I done this before? And now I can know to go back and do something like you're talking about. No different than the other day when we were caught up in it and we went to this park and we sit at a bench, and what does nature do? It produces a hawk 20 feet away from us. Nothing needs to be said. You know, the more we talk, the more we F it up. So, you know, the bottom line is, you know, like I was told 8 years ago, what do I do? Like so many of us, you get this information and you go, okay, now what do I do? And they would tell me, and I know they told you and many others, we're going to give you the pieces. You got to put it together. Okay. But they would tell me the one thing we can tell you is whatever you're to do, it can't be anything you've done before or that's been done before. So let's create our way out of it. And I like what she said, because that's what you do. You come together with the right intention, the intention of alignment and oneness, not the cliche, but real oneness. You come with no agenda and you come together with the right intention and improvise. And you just make it up as you go. And then you have this magic and you do this show. And then you get off the show and your sister comes up to you and said, Grace Solaris came to me last night. Now, the way she was talking, I thought y'all were old friends. And she tells me this story. There was a big storm here last night, a freak storm, 60-mile-an-hour winds, tornadoes. We're in the RV and it's rocking back and forth. And I had my own journey, and, you know, Morgan had her own journey and she had her own journey. But she's telling me about you popping in and you're coming on in 10 minutes. I said, wait a minute, were you talking to her on the phone or was it in the ethers? And she said it was in the ethers. I still thought that she knew you when the show started. And I said, do you recognize this sister?
Oh, okay.
So here we go. Make it up as we go.
So you didn't know I was coming on the show or what? Or you did know? No, you didn't. Okay. Interesting.
But I watch you. I've been watching your shows. And that's what I want to talk about, is that when I close my eyes and I am in more of just a relaxed state to close my eyes and I rewrite situations, I building out reality. I close my eyes when somebody's acting like an a-hole in front of me and I go inside and find out, where did this begin, you know? And I recreate it in my mind and I open my eyes and all of a sudden they're being sweet and kind. And I'm like, okay, great, glad we cleared that up. But when I go and close my eyes, I see a lot of us. I see those of us who have built out their light bodies, and we are all just sitting there. We're just sitting in bliss and holding a meditative stance. It reminds me of the City of Lights, the Himalayan mountains. I see us all there as well, our other selves.
Yes.
And we are holding this huge grand space of the next world, and we are grounding it here together by not being in the distraction. For me, Todd, your show is not the distraction. It is to validate and bring me back my reflection so that I know that I am indeed on the right path. And so I feel like, you know, these shows, as well as us, when we are meant to speak with each other, this is that blueprint laying. And also to note that you could sit together with your own, you know, higher self or with a collective, a group, and say, you know, what needs to be built out? All last year here in Soul School, we built out new, you know, education systems, new government of self doing the governing. We did all these build outs that I'm going to watch actualize, because there's enough of us actually waking up that are going to ground it in. And it's not me who did it. It's this greater being that we are, that is literally in this other timeline that's grounding here now. And I'm just so excited to be here. So
Yes, and it's very much about also what I'm getting. We are really moving into the soul monad. So we are creating as over soul. You know, it's no one man show or one woman show any longer. It's just like, so we will be connected with the right people, you know, and you don't need to go and seek anything, because you just need to be present in your heart space, and the right people will just turn up, and things will just be natural. And you know, so you know, you met me, you know, on Dream Time, you know, and it's just like we are creating from this same space, and we will automatically just find, it's like a magnetic pull. So we will come together with these souls now. There will be a lot of encounters with soul family now, that because we will create out of this field of the monad. Yes. That's what, I mean, to me at least, that's what 2020 is about, really, the soul monad coming together. And we are creating, you know, all these, the new heaven of all the new structures and all this. You need to do this from a place of unity, from a place of, you know, the monad. It's not something that you can do one individual person. It just doesn't work. Yeah. So you know, we will come together, everyone, and you know, what is important is, you know, you don't have to go and look for someone, you know, you don't have to, you know, even ask questions. You know, many are like, wow, and many really feel like, wow, I need to do something, I need to step into service, I need to step forward, you know. Yes, wonderful, just say yes, but don't start to ask questions. Just say yes, and just be present, just be available, and spirit will work for you. You will meet the right people, you will just, you know, be urged, whatever you need to do, you will just know. You know, it's not like before, oh, I get some guidance, and oh, can I trust it, I can't trust. It's like you're beyond that now. It's just like, if you really manage to just be present, I mean, things are just happening through you. It's just happening. Even you don't even get to the point of can I trust it, or should I do this, and should I do that? It's just happening through you. Yes. And that's a lovely thing, you know, because so many have struggled, you know, with you know, trusting, is it this, is it that, can I trust the messages, can I trust my intuition, and all this. And if you really manage to just keeping centered and keeping in your heart space, we are really moving to the next level now, where we can transcend all that insecurity, and, you know, becoming these divine instruments, yes, of the divine, of divine will, where the ego hasn't got a chance if you're really just fully aligned there. And you know, so it's like things are just happening before you can even think it, you know, just being present. Yeah.
Yes. What's the thing where they break out in like malls and they do yoga all together out of like just out of the blue? You know, where they do the, what's that called? It's they like plan it, you know, like 50 people will be in a mall and all of a sudden they all break out into yoga.
Wow.
So that reminds me of the monad groups. You know, wherever you are, when you're in Walmart, that's a monad group. Wherever you are, whatever group is there is the monad. And so how can we like open up space in the presence of group, and then watch, like you said, you don't have to go anywhere. There it is. What's the sacred dance that wants to go ahead and unravel? And how do we know what to do? We just follow our heart, right?
Yeah.
The child will start crying in front of you and you'll hold them, and that's your inner child. And you know, so you watch these displays of where we are, like you said, Grace, for 2020. We are here to literally embody the group consciousness that we are, to heal the collective groups, the ones that look like they're just, you know, going haywire. Hold space, get really big. You know, that space is love that you are, the big plasma stargate keeper that you are, and watch these ignitions happen with each soul one by one, as all of a sudden they forget what they're fighting about and they start, you know, crying and loving on each other.
Waking up.
Yeah.
You know, this falls in line with one of the things that happened to me. We've had an acceleration. I think everybody has. The last 2 weeks, you know, I don't even know how to count anymore, but so one of my observations, we had a huge a huge one about 2 weeks ago, where a master dragon came in and showed us that we had gotten through a stage of 12. And it was very, very powerful. And I made the comment after reflecting and really absorbing it all, that we're going to, I told Morgan, I said, you know what, when we go to bed at night, put our hands together, we're going to see more vivid, apparitions. And she said, no, I don't think so. I think what we're being told is we are that now. And then when she said that, I saw it all line up, and it all made sense to what you're saying. And what you're saying is that, what's not saying may not see aspects of ourselves pop in to tell us something, but we're actually doing it now. And I think it was you that said last night, they said, you guys have been talking about it and talking about it and talking about it. And we all can look in the light worker community and see that we've all done it and others done it too. Doesn't matter. It's all the same. But it's time to start doing it. And doing it seems like, and I told Morgan this, I said, well, that's what's going to go down. It's so paradoxical and so ironic, because here we've had all these dimensional and interdimensional experiences, and we're like, whoa, and we're actually going to go to the base element, to the most dense part of us, the dense physical body, and actually invoke it now. We're actually going to align now. All this other stuff, and the way we do that just seems so less fantastic, so less magnificent, because we've poo-pooed the human for so long. Get me out of here, beam me up, and all that stuff. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, I just find it's humorous, and there is so much wisdom in humor, that here we are going back to the very base element that is actually the same substance, all these multidimensional aspects that have given us and that compose us, and it's actually going to happen here at this level. And it's not like some big mantra or meditation or communion or dimensional experience. It's the human taking power. If we look at what we're resisting, because when we go into these distractions or addictions or whatever you want to call it, even over identification with some of our multidimensional aspects, it's a resistance to our own power. And it's time to claim our power. And we do that in a very relaxed way, like you both are describing, in a conscious intention. If you go into Walmart or you go into the mall and it looks dense, go to work.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Go to work. Just like she talked about, if the a-hole comes before you and then you just go to work and then everything shifts. This is how it works. Okay. Yeah. And we're getting a tremendous amount of support. And I want to ask you, because somebody brought up Arcturians, I don't know if it was Rabia or you. Yeah. Rabia brought up the lady that was on prior to this show. The Arcturian stepped in the last couple of days and kind of gave her the marching orders like Morgan and I got, which is like, it's time to get with it. Have you gotten any recent intel from your connection with Arcturians?
Todd, for me, it's for quite some time, it has been like, how should I say, early on, I've been working with the Arcturians for 2 years now. So earlier it was like, when they kind of came in, it was like, wow. And at a certain point, I said to, why I can't feel you so strongly. And it's kind of, you step back or what, though there were moments where they keep connecting, but it was moving to a different level. And I thought, I thought, okay, maybe you don't want to continue this stuff. But then they showed me, it's because we have become totally one. You can't differentiate us anymore. You just totally integrated us. So it's not like, oh, now the Arcturians are coming in, or the Pleiadians or Archangel. It's like, I can't differentiate it anymore, because, that's my experience, that it's just all flowing in, so, when I share, and I, early on, many years back, I also channeled, I don't do that, because it's just, that would be like that. It doesn't feel natural anymore, because like it's connecting with something external, in a way, and it's just all integrated into my being now. So when I speak, it's coming through me, you know, through my entire body, through my presence, through my words, through everything, you know. So you know, in that way. But I mean, everything I share on Facebook, it's impregnated, you know, with their energy, you know. So yeah, and we had this big activation last week on the 2222 portal. And this was very much about merging with all those higher dimensional aspects, whether angelic, galactic, whether dragon, Pegasus, or whatever. I mean, whatever beings it are that are important right now for you stepping into service, because of course we all have a Pegasus aspect, a unicorn, a dragon, you know. We all have angelic DNA and such, and we have imprints from different galactic constellations. So so then you could say, yeah, but I'm going to merge with everything. I mean, you are through the monadic field, yes, but there will be various beings that show up, you know, kind of, what should I say, demanding, you know, to be incorporated into your being. So this is where we are now, and it's really about uniting all these higher aspects with the human aspect. And then when all this polarity is united within, then the soul monad can really, you know, basically take over your body. You just become the monadic field, yes, your oversoul, right? So this is really where we are right now, and I think really many are feeling it, and it so that it makes it a lot easier now to transcend your story, you know, which you beautifully created for this lifetime, and really transcend it, to transcend the identity that have kept you alienated and isolated from your divine self, from your divinity. Yeah. So so this is, yeah, really where we are right now, and it will, you know, it has become so much easier. But of course, I mean, if you keep on giving the lead to your mind, I mean, some people, they're very much in the head, you know, and just kind of, you said it, it's about all these addictions, Todd, you know. Okay, are you in a toxic environment? Are you feeding into negative thoughts? I mean, there's nothing here that I can't, you know. It takes discipline. It takes 24/7 monitoring your thoughts. What do you give your energy to? You know, is it something that, you know, lifts you, empowers you, or do you buy into this old programming? You know, I mean, you have to choose. It's an ongoing choice, you know. Being love, it's an ongoing choice, yes. So you can't just, you know, kind of get it fixed, you know. I mean, it is really an ongoing commitment to be in that observer witness status in the 0 point, and just saying, okay, all this chatter, all this stuff going on there, you know. Yeah, okay, quite nice. Hello there, hi ego, but I haven't got time for you. And just say, I say, wave it. It's like, I always see it like, you know, in the football field, it runs at the sidelines and keep waving, trying to get your attention, you know. So are you giving it attention? Are you buying into it? Or are you saying, no, I'm staying here, I'm aligned, I'm exactly where I need to be. I don't need to know anything. I don't need to, you know, control anything, but simply just be there, be present, be available. Yeah.
Wow.
So when this happens, wait, I mean, it can happen, of course. People can trigger you, or you get into a situation or whatever. And I always say, pull the emergency brake, you know, like, and then realign yourself. Just come back into your heart. It's okay, no problem. But don't waste time on then go into self-judgment and this and that, you know. it's just an old conditioning, and you know, you can really fast get out of it. It's just like when you really keep your focus there to really being aligned and being alert and awake and monitoring what you give your thoughts to. You can, you know, everyone can do it. It's no big deal, right? It's just being in that discipline. Yeah.
Yeah, to me,
Because someone they say, yeah, but I can't do that. That's just ego state. It's not, you know, it's really, you can, of course you can. Of course you can. You can choose everything, you know. There's nothing that you can't choose. Even if you say, I don't choose it, you have made a choice, you know. So, you know, we are in this free will zone. So it's really about using that, responding to your ability to choose. That's responsibility. I respond to my ability to choose each present moment. Yeah.
I never thought of the etymology of that word, responsibility, responsibility. I look at, for myself, if I'm in resistance, I run. I run to what we're calling an addiction or a distraction. If I'm attached, I run to that. You know, I know what my ego sounds like, feels like, acts like, but I also know that silent, somewhat silent, subtle, sacred cadence of my soul. And I've always known, like we've all known, it just hasn't been reinforced and supported in this beautiful, perfect design that we created. But now we're rising. Now, like you were saying earlier, we can be confident, we can have spiritual confidence in that reality. And it's opening these doors that she's describing, these rooms that are already created in the energetic field. But this is our role. Our role is to manifest this and bring the physical and the non-physical together. And that is mind-blowing. You know, that's mind-blowing. I just want to declare that I am not afraid of my own power.
Yeah.
I embrace my own power. I enact my own power. I invoke my power, my infinite power, with all my brothers and sisters, because this is the real deal. This, call me crazy, call me a philosopher fool, call me whatever you want to call me. But I am that, which means I am every single thing there is that I know. Yes. And like I said on the last show, I cannot be, I am that and not be that. And say I am that, but I'm not that, or that, or that. I am all of this. And I think it's high time for me personally to walk this talk and to reach out to those that make me uncomfortable, to those that I might have had an issue with or thought they did something to me in the illusion of this whole interaction, and say, you know what? I see the goddess in you. I see the God in you. Ho'oponopono, whatever. Yeah. And whatever comes back to an expanded field that I hold and am, no matter what it is. I'm not looking for an expectation. I'm not looking for a specific answer. I don't need to hear, I'm sorry. I don't need to hear that you hurt me. I don't need to hear any of that. I just need to say, you know what? I need to level off. I need to balance. I need to strengthen and expand my field. I'm sorry. I love you. Thank you. Forgive me. However it goes. Yes. You know, I think this takes courage.
It's a great analogy too. What I'm seeing is like, you know, our consciousness is everything. We dropped in as a droplet, as a little baby, and people calling us a baby. Oh, I'm a baby. Oh, I'm this name. Oh, I'm an adult. And so we're, you know, we all these aspects of self, as Grace was talking about, we're finally in the merger period where the higher ups, all those guides that we've been talking to are us, and they will stand in front of you and merge with you when it's ready. And when it merges and you realize, oh my gosh, I am that archangel. Okay. And it's the same thing in this lower world reality stuff. The cast of characters in the 3D that show up in front of you are you to be merged. And they were showing me eating them the other night. And I was like, I'm eating them? And they said, you're devouring them. You're devouring all these characters so that you can finally sit on the mountaintop again and be still and be bliss, and you'll be creating from there again. And so it's an invitation not to be gross, everybody, but to look what's in front of you, both in your inner station and your outer station, and see the ones that are ready to merge. And I love that, the Ho'oponopono prayer, because that just, that takes it right home, where you really are doing a sacred activation and leveling up with any of those past characters that might be across the plane somewhere else, but they're going to show up to you eventually if you don't merge that, you know. So can we level up with our new assignment as well to do this merger dance?
I love what you said, because and I never thought of that. So it's a great analogy. I mean, she's so right. You know, if I just think about the last few months, all the things that have presented themselves to us, and they merge with us. They are, that's us becoming us. This loud voice that was in our ear the last 2-3 days, saying, you know, it's time to stop talking about it and actually start doing it to the nth degree. And if I saw that as Mother Goddess, or I saw that as the 13th dragon or whatever, that was the part of me that I haven't accepted and absorbed. By the same token, I love this analogy. Anyone and everyone we come across, anything and everything we come across in the physical experience, we can do the same thing with, where these things, these aspects of ourselves from the ethers and the multidimensionality initiated because of our work. We don't have to wait on others to initiate. We can initiate. We don't even have to say anything to them. We can just hold them in our space, especially if you're in a physical presence, because it all takes care of itself and it's initiated by us. You know, we are all those things, and this is what it is. You know, it's not that we're not human beings, but we're not. We're divine human beings. That means we are infinite, multidimensional composites of what we were made in the image of. You know, and there's something about this collective body that we are. Like, we're all cells in the body, which just accentuates the importance, especially in the dense realm of coming together and merging. And that can be done in so many ways, you know.
Yeah, absolutely, in so many ways.
So
yes,
I don't know, do you guys want to do a little group merging right now?
Yeah,
I'm just making it up as we go here.
it's funny because before I in today, you know, I called the Actuarians and said, because normally, I mean, I always call in my team and guides, but today I said, let's just create like a group Merkaba where I told them to, the ones that will tune in, just bring us all into this group Merkaba. So, and now you say it's just totally in sync, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely. To merge our being into one consciousness, and you know, just becoming in this field of oneness, because exactly to transcend this individual self, to just become this consciousness. And I mean, all those that will be tuned in now, we will be. I mean, there are no accidents. You know, everyone will be exactly where they, you know, are supposed to be. So it will be people that are sisters and brothers that are part of our monadic field, right? So yes, let's do that. Let's just connect all of us now. And just asking that all distortions may be dissolved. Everything that we hold on to, that still, like, we keep hanging on to our individuality. So just letting go, and just, it's like a falling, over the cliff, just saying, okay, I don't need to control anything. I don't need to hold on to anything. Simply surrendering. And just allow all those beautiful, radiant beings to just come into your presence, to merge with you. Did you hear that tone, or was it just me hearing it?
I heard it.
Okay.
So as we are coming into our full embodiment, fully merged with all that we've been and all that we will be in this now moment, stepping into this timeline of actualized embodiment of star stuff. We are an illuminated star being that shoots out plasma radiant being, fields of light, fields of glory and bliss for us to be experiencing and to create together. Fear not, dear one, for you are all you ever will be now. And it is time that we step forward, be present, enjoy yourself in this nature, this beautiful kingdom, this beautiful radiant space. All has been folded in. All that you could have ever not agreed with is your opportunity now to not agree with it anymore and to step deep into your power, radiate that plasma light, and know that your two eyes with the three is creating the reality to be. We are asked as monadic clans and groups to rise up with each other, to restore the sacred community, the neighborhoods. You do not have to go anywhere, for the neighborhood is your sacred monadic grid keeper place to play. Open up the gate in your neighborhood. Sit outside in your very own space, place. Here is where we will gather. Right in front of you, the ants, the lizards, your children are waiting for you to show up and be this future self now. Now is our time. We are here. We have all the tools, all the keys locked. No locks. The keys are here. It is our presence. We give great thanks to this tribe of beings have been steadfast on this way. You are now to receive your riches and rewards. It will come in gifts in many ways. Every gift you could ever imagine exists. Please allow yourself to create the gift in your mind's eye practice each morning and receive that plasma gift on your doorstep how you so see it. Please realize the new structures of currency and current is your plasma. Please allow the currency of plasma that you weave and yield to be towards service and people and experiences that are real. Do not feed the old anymore. Release the old addiction and allow yourself to embody this truth and build out this world together. We have got this. All you have to do is be here now. We love you, we love you, we love you, we love you. So it is.
So
Ooh. Oh.
joy. Joy is the word. Be joy. Be joy.
Thank you, Grace.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elasa.
To beautiful beings. Thank you to everyone that joined with us. It was just amazing energy, and connecting into this space together. It's just like you don't want to leave it. It's just like, yeah. So wonderful. So thank you to each one of you for just being. And you don't have to do or say something special. It's really about being the love and just showing up and being the love, and embrace everything, being acceptance of everything. And as you accept it, everything is transmuted into love through the acceptance. Yes, and practice Ho'oponopono.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, we got something here. It's going to be backwards.
Oh, is it?
Sure.
I don't think so.
No,
On your
no.
screen.
Maybe not.
I love you. Please
I love
forgive
you.
me.
Please forgive me.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Can we do that one more time together?
I love you.
I
Please
love you.
I'm sorry,
Sorry.
Please.
and thank you.
We got to get our unison. Let's do this one more time. Ready? I love you.
Love
Please
you.
forgive
Please
me.
forgive me. I'm
I'm
so
sorry.
Thank you.
The one.
Right on. We're gonna come back on
We love you.
in
love you. Thank you so
45
much,
minutes.
everyone.
We'll be back in
Yes.
45 minutes with the beautiful, beloved sister, young lady,
Alexia, Sasha.
Sasha.
Such a
Thank you.
great. Yes.
We look
Bye
forward to
bye.
seeing
Thank
you
you.
teleporting here soon. You have the
Yes.
plasma built out for you. Plasma tube is built out for you to come.
Yeah, we'll be seeing you.
Yes. I will. I will.
Bye-bye, Grace.
Yeah.